Hello friends, I have taken the topic from the unit number 3, that is Usability Heuristic. Let's see the objective of this topic. After learning this topic, we will come to know the different heuristic evaluation which is done on the user interface. We are going to learn the different guidelines, the 10 guidelines which are proposed by the Jacob-Nielsen. In this particular video, I am going to explain some of the guidelines which are proposed by the Jacob-Nielsen. Jacob-Nielsen proposed a set of 10 guidelines that can be used as a principle of a design for a new interface. This can be used as a heuristic evaluation for any interface. What is a heuristic? Nothing but a thumb rule. This principle can be used to explain a very large proportion of the problem which one observes in a user interface design. The goal of heuristic evaluation is to find the usability problem in the design. After performing this evaluation, one can revisit his design. Start with the first one, simple and natural dialogue. User interface should be simplified as much as possible, since every additional features or item which is introduced in a given screen is going to create a headache to a user for remembering that dialogue. Interface should match to the user task in a natural way. Interface should match. The first topic is simple and natural dialogue. User interface should be simplified as much as possible. Since every additional feature or item of information on a screen is one more thing to learn, user have to remember all those things. One more thing to possibly misunderstand, and one more thing to search through when looking for the thing you want. That's why we should simplify the user interface. User interface should match the user task in a natural way. When the user navigates through the interface, the time should be minimized in a natural way. That means whenever he wants to search for anything in a given interface, that time should be minimized. A good graphic design is an important element in achieving a simple and natural dialogue. If my interface design is a simple one, then I can tell very easily to the user what he exactly wants. For example, I have shown you the screen of a VLC media player which we use regularly. From that, I can show you that the one that is on the top, which shows that I can easily select the thing which I want to play. From the down bottom, I can see the different control which are available to me, like forward, stop and play, as well as the pause. Again, shuffling my playlist. And at the rightmost down corner, the volume control is there, which is graphically shown in a very nice way. So this is not going to confuse to the user. Rather, it is one of the best example for simple and natural dialog box. The next one is speak the user language. Whatever the terminology I am giving on the screen or on the user interface should be in a user language, not on the system-oriented terms. There are some of the specific terms which we use in our normal day-to-day life as a one when we are talking with our colleagues, but they are the terminology which are specified in a book, but they might be unknown for the user. So we should always speak to the user language. Dialogue should be in a user native language and not in a foreign language. If I am designing any interface specifically targeting the one of the group, for example, any website which is specifically designed for the farmer, then it should be in that native language. For example, it should be in a Marathi if it is designed in a Maharashtra, and should use the minimum English language which is not going to be understood by the normal farmer. If I want to reach to each and every farmer, I should take care of this thing. So to speak the user language does not always imply a limiting the user vocabulary. to a small set of commonly used words. I can always go for using a small commonly used word which are known to the user. I have given one example here. I have taken some of the example like the one which is showing the timing which is left when I am doing any transfer. So this particular interface is speaking the user language, not exactly the user language, rather it is showing in a graphical way. The one picture which is showing that I want to rename one file but which cannot be renamed. So that one pop-up is coming to me, but it is given in a very simple and sober way so that any user can understand what the mistake he is doing. Again, the next one is a type mistake. I'm typing a number where I have to type the name. So the type mismatch error is coming, which is shown in one of the pop-up video. My next topic is minimize the user memory load. Computers are very good at remembering the thing very precisely. So that if I'm hoping that the user should remember everything which is specified in the screen when he is opening, then it should be specified in a manner that it is easy for him to remember it. So people have a much easier time at recognizing something that is shown on them. Your passive vocabulary is always much larger than your active vocabulary. So computer really speaks a foreign language as far as the user are concerned. So we should consider all these points. In this regard, the one best thing which can be done is to use a menu in your design so that the user will select one of the appropriate thing which he want to select from the menu rather to remember all the option. Less is more. I should not design the interface in a manner that it is very difficult for a user to remember. So I should specify the less thing. The one better example I have shown that if I want the user to enter the date, then the best way is to specify the example there itself so that it will be easy for a user to enter that date at that particular time, because we know that there are number of ways to specify the date. If I want the date in this format like day, month, year, I should specify the format there itself instead of showing the error message to the user. Second one, left margin. Here I've taken the second example. Suppose I want that the left margin should be in the specified range from 0 to 128. Then that range should be specified there itself. Here I'm showing you that the user has entered the 10. So that means he has entered the correct data. For example, I have shown you the one common example which we use, like which type of font I want to select. So that particular menu is already given that which type of fonts are available. So from that menu, I can select whatever is required. Font style, the four famous font style which we regularly use. So from that, I can select the required style by me. Again, the size. So all the sizes are listed over there. So I have to select the particular size from the given menu. Similarly, a date example is there. Here I am specifically showing the month there so that now it will be easy for a user to specify the particular month and to specify the year also. The next topic is nothing but the consistency. Consistency is one of the most basic usability principles. If a user knows that some commands or some action will always have the same effect, they will remember those things, and it will be going to be a consistent in your system also. So the same information should be presented in the same location on all the screen and the dialog box, and it should be formatted in the same way to facilitate recognition. This is going to help the user to use the system more effectively. And consistency is not just a question of a screen design, but it includes a consideration of a task and a functionality of a structure of a design. A study of popular spreadsheet program which is conducted shows that there are 10 problems which always come because of the consistency only. If I'm changing a design of a spreadsheet again and again, then and I'm not keeping the consistency in my design, then there are going to be the error while filling that particular form. For that, I have shown one example which we normally use in our day-to-day life, and that is the Microsoft products. You can see that in that Microsoft product, there is a first tab which is always a home tab. And in that home tab also, they have kept little bit consistency. Again, a second tab is mostly the insert tab. So this is this is what the consistency they have maintained in a Microsoft Word, in Microsoft Excel, and in a Microsoft PowerPoint. So these two tabs are very familiar to me. And not only these two tabs, you can see that on the top there is a save button, on the top redo, undo button, and the print button. These three immediate commands which can be used by the user very effectively, and they are present on the top corner and in the same order. That means they have maintained the consistency. Now after that, the most important parameter is taking the feedback from the user and giving the feedback to the user on time to time basis. So feedback should not wait until an error situation has occurred. Suppose I am asking the user to fill the form and it has total 10 fields to fill the form. After filling the form, now I'm telling the user that you have made the mistake on the fourth point. So that should not be done. The mistake should be tell to user. It should be prompted as an error message on the user's screen at that moment only. It should not be given to the user after completion of the all tasks. So system should also provide the positive feedback. This is what the way of providing the positive feedback, giving the feedback to the user on that time itself instead of specifying the feedback to the user at the end. So it should provide a partial, that is what called as a partial feedback, and it is one of the best information which is given to the user at the best time. So system should give a warning message to the user. Different type of a feedback may need a different degree of a persistence in the interface. We have to introduce this feedback at a different level. For example, feedback is only relevant for the duration of a certain phenomenon. They are not going to appear for a long time, only for the given time itself. So feedback becomes especially important in case the system has long response time for a certain operation. So that's what I said. If I'm having a 10 fields, then the feedback should be given at each field itself instead of giving at the end, so that the response time going to be vary. For that, I have given one example. The one example which I have already given about the form filling, here I am giving the feedback which the system gives to me. Suppose I am copying the file from one to another one. Then while uploading that file, I should give the feedback to the user that your uploading process is in the progress, and this is what the timing is done, and this is what the probable time is required to do the task. This is going to help the user that how much time it's going to take to complete the task. Same thing is here. Suppose suppose the user is performing one task which cannot be reversed at all. I'm deleting one file permanently. So that feedback should be given to the user that you are about to delete one file which is going to be deleted permanently and no longer you can access that file. So that feedback should be also given to the user. Normally when we install any of the software on our system, then system always gives us feedback about how much installation is done. So that is the best feedback for the user to know that how much time is left and how much he has to wait, and that is what called as giving a positive feedback to the user that his work is in progress and now it is about to complete. So with this video, I have completed some of the usability heuristic methodology which can be used in a user interface, can be applied to any extent. I have taken the topic or the reference from the book Usability Engineering by Jacob Nelson. Thank you for listening.